All right, a very good evening. I guess now it's 9. Could be. I gotta get my phone. Please bear with Warrior Junior here as I get my phone so we can keep up with. Get my phone so we can keep up with the times. Get it with the time? Please bear with me while I close my door here. I sincerely apologize for that. I usually am prepared when I go live, but sometimes, you gotta, things happen, you gotta adjust. Je do adjust accordingly. 9 o'clock, 9:05. Okay, so let's just jump right in. I talk about bodybuilding a lot, my views on it. Of course, everybody always throws out the big A, Arnold. And yeah, he's definitely the most popular of our time. But, if you're really into, listen to Nick's Strength and Power. He's like, kind of like me, he's a real enthusiast. He researches, real historian, the golden age of bodybuilding, and history and all the people like that most people don't even know. I throw out a name like, there's so many names I could throw out. It don't matter. You probably never even heard of him anyway. So what's the difference? Everybody knows Arnold. That's about it. But how many people even know the person that inspired Arnold? Unless Arnold mentioned it, Reg Park. That was like one of his, predecessors, proteges. Want to be like him. This is the organic lemon ginger tea. But I'm not going to talk about bodybuilding history. That's not what's important in this episode. I stopped in Gold's Hollywood today. And the reason is, they have like a nutrition store that's not too far from there. It used to be this kind of dance studio too, but that's not there anymore. So I stopped by just to see. They have like a job board. They used to have a job board in there, like people. So I have no interest in taking dance classes or anything. I only danced for like almost 30 years, I think I kind of have an idea of what I was doing when I was doing it. I remember one time I went into this one place and this woman looks at me and goes, "Are you here? You're trying to learn how to dance?" And I just was like, "Oh man." That's why when people dance is such a vague term. There's so many different styles. Like most people that do jazz dance or modern, they don't venture outside that. People that do salsa type dancing, maybe they do a different variations of that, the tango, or I don't know. Ballroom dancers, generally ballroom, I guess that tango, you can throw that in there. But what I was mostly known for was like, like you can call it freestyle, like Michael Jackson, street dancing. Most people call it break dancing or pop locking, but popping and locking are two separate arts in the street dance. I competed in the American Street Dance Championships back, at the Fit Expo, ironically, at the LA Convention Center back, I think in '08. And I was in the locking division. I could pop too, but the guy running it wanted, he let me do the locking. And I was lucky to get to do it. It was a fairly big competition for that, and we were only first and second place in that division, and I think I might have came in third. Not to get off topic, so I like, so I got to give props to that N101 place. They do have a very big selection, of supplements and stuff. But there's the guy that works there. He's kind of a curmudgeon. I spent like almost $100 in there just on a couple supplements today. It's like pretty good stuff, and the guy charged me 10 cents for a little paper bag. He's kind of being a dick, that guy. Jeez, spent like $100. He didn't give me a fucking bag, he got charged me for it. Nevertheless, so then I was like, all right, let's go check out this. And I've been in there before, the Gold's Hollywood, a couple years ago maybe. And I see some of these people coming out, and I started to get that. It's like, I know. I'm just like trying to like be respectful and honest at the same time. Good luck, It's you can't be. You're always gonna offend somebody. Someone's gonna get upset, and there's nothing you can fucking do about it. You can't please everybody. It's like you're supposed to be respect all as equal. The gays are not straight, and straights are not gays. And I grew up in West Hollywood. So it's kind of like, I respect them. For their thing. But it's like, it just seems like they, our friend said this in the pickup community. He said they just seem to get in the way when you're trying to meet women. Like you're going out there. Well, if you're going on Santa Monica Boulevard, it's their area. Well, you know what? It's their area. Well, then how about, I remember I used to go to this Valley bar, and there was some, whatever I see on Sunset sometimes, mostly a straight bar, and I'd see some gay people in there. I never went up to them and said, hey, you're not in my, you're in my area. I never would do that. Because I'm part of the solution, not part of the problem. Now, again, I don't want to get off topic. So let's get back to talking about the gym, bodybuilding in the gym. So I walk in there, and they make you like fill out some stuff, and I was like, all right, fine. First I was a little apprehensive to do it. I said, here, it's my ID, but they need to have for liability stuff, whatever. So, okay. And this young guy showing me around. Before he shows me around, though, this guy, I'm like in this lobby area, and there's this guy on this, like, I guess it's like a bicep type machine, and you're supposed to, number one, when you're doing any exercise, you're supposed to be focusing on what you're doing, not what's going on around you, okay? That's what, number one, that's one thing I know that most people don't, okay, in bodybuilding. You're mind-muscle connection. How can you be, if you're on your phone, if you're talking to people, if you're watching television, how could you be focusing on what you're doing? This is not cardio where like you're on a treadmill, like walking, where you can watch the television. And you know what? You can get fucked up to that. If you're on a treadmill thing and you're watching that TV, you're on a treadmill. It is moving. It's not like you're walking down the block or something. This is how people, how many people get fucked up at the gyms? They don't know what the fuck they're doing. Now, no, I'm not saying I know everything of everything, but over 30 years, I pretty much could write like a comprehensive guide of kind of like how to perform exercises. Arnold has a complete guide to bodybuilding, but what he doesn't understand is there's things that I guarantee you he doesn't cover. Gym etiquette, certain things about, giving people space, about how, there's so many things that go on. Like when you're working out and you're looking in the mirror and there's like a weight rack in front, and the people, somebody just walks right by to put their weight, like with no consideration. Like if you're doing incline with dumbbells, you're looking in the mirror to make sure your form is good. There's no balance factor of that. You're using heavy fucking weights, and some clown just goes right in front of you, or maybe starts like working out with dumbbells. Right? I mean, I've seen it all. Because I've been around for a long time doing this. Where I go now, it sucks because it's like the people in there, like, and I could probably, it's just like it's a gay do, like it's not like the people in there, they're not serious, and well, it shouldn't bother, look, everything I say has a meaning and a reason behind it. Again, I have nothing against anybody, but here's the problem. You're in an environment where people are joking and laughing around and you're like serious, you're going to stand out. They're going to say, well, what's wrong with that guy? And then, like, wrong with me? What's wrong with all you people? Like, so then see, that's basically what this is. This is what this has turned into. Number one, in my gym, I go in there, they have like 3 places where you could you could use a squat rack. Like they're built for squat racks with 2 Smith machines. And I go in there and I see these guys are on their phones. They're sitting there. Like, the only time I ever brought my phone to the gym was to show my vaccination status. That was it. Otherwise, this thing has no place there. It has absolutely no place for me because my focus is here of doing the work. This gets your mind off of what you're supposed to be catching your breath and catch your breath. But the only time you catch your breath is in between sets. And in my mind, it's like I'm putting on either more weights, taking more weights off, thinking about how many reps I'm going to do on this next set. That's where my mind is. Now, I'm not Mr. Olympia, but my mentality is like I'm really fucking focused. Like I'm there to like get the most out of that place. Now, what this place has in common with my gym, what had in common with the Hollywood place I went in there earlier this afternoon, there was like 1 woman in there and like 200 dudes. And I'm sitting there going to myself, I go, what are all the women fitness women that work out? Where the hell are they? You know where they are? They're spread out is where they are. They're not there. Now, my friend told me, he said, well, the Hollywood Gold's Gym is just like Crunch. It's a gay. That's where, and then the 24-hour fitness that closed on Santa Monica. So I guess a lot of people gravitated there. I just don't get it. But I guess that's what it is. You live where you live, Again, trying to be part of the solution, not part of the problem. The people that are part of the problem are the ones that, hey, yeah, those guys, I hate those guys. Those are the people that are part of the problem. The part of the solution is everybody's equal, period. Now, there's a guy in my building, this black guy that I know. He goes to like 24-hour fitness on 18th Street. I think it's like an all black area. I guess he feels comfortable, like amongst his people, just like the gays, they feel comfortable amongst their people, But again, I just think that's a totally wrong. It shouldn't be, because then it creates this type of majority rule thing where, if I were to go down the 18th Street place, it's like, what are you doing here, man? You're not black. You have no business here. Or like in a gay place, it's like you're not gay. It's like, what are you doing here, kind of mad. See, it creates a type of separation of people. It's wrong. Now, again, that's just my 2 cents. I'm getting on. I don't want to get off topic again because it's really important for me to cover things that I know about bodybuilding that most people don't know. Now, I already talked about, this before. Anybody that works to shape their body, to get in shape, they're a bodybuilder. Okay? They don't have to be in the posing trunks on stage, all oiled up, tan, huge people. You don't have to be. There's people that are heavier set, trying to lose weight, trying to get firm, like trying to build muscle and lose fat. Anybody that does that, that's a bodybuilder. But the whole thing is, there's been misconstrued because they think bodybuilder has to be some behemoth of a man walking around. It's just misconstrued. The thing, I guess that came up with Arnold in the Weider time. But I came up with the EAS. I was around during the EAS time where they really, for a couple of years, Bill Phillips changed the whole idea of what it is meant to be a bodybuilder. Now, here's what I see. I go into those Crunch, and Hollywood, the Gold's Gym, whatever, and I see people like well, mostly. First, I'm going to talk about the crunch first. Then I'm going to talk about where I went today. And again, they're on the phone, and it's like, so people on the phone, you don't hear, there's nobody talking, right? That's fine. I don't mind that. The music is at an ambient level. It's at a lower kind of level. It's not, and the music is very, how do I say? It's apropos. That's not really the right word. It's just non-conducive to a hardcore environment. Um, it's music that is very, it's very flamboyant. It's kind of it's for the gay. It's gay. A lot of it is gay kind of thing. The type of, not real pop music, but more of like that. It's just the stuff that I don't like it. Okay, it doesn't. It's not warrior music. And I'm not expecting go into a gym and have to hear Conan the Barbarian theme or something, but it's like you go in there and then where they got like on the glass. There's a stupid. It's like etched in sticker thing. Hey, look! Oh, freeway! Like it's just a very aloof, non serious type place. Like, and now I'm not saying I'm the only one that's real serious in there. There are some dudes that really go there to move the iron. I happen to be one of them. And you don't have to be strong as hell to be serious. But in order to have intensity, that requires two things. Requires the skill, the time to be able to build up to being able to be intense and to be able to push a decent amount of weight for your size. That requires like advanced lifting, which requires a serious. You're serious there, And I just noticed I'm in there that it's like a lot of what I call cream puff type behavior. Like I'm the only one, like when I'm lifting, most of the time I'm sweating, and I'm the only one that's working up I mean, I'm working real hard in there, and if it didn't have all the tools that I needed to build my body, I would not go there. Period. So it's like, but I'll tell you, it's like a library. I mean, I'm the bigger body parts. First of all, your legs. You're doing squats and stuff. I can give out like toward the last couple of reps, everything I got a good kind of like a good, not a roar, but it's there's one more, like it's in me, so I could try to get one more out of me, and it's like the whole gym could hear you because the there's not there's not enough stuff being used, that the music is not loud enough, and there's not really everybody's really doing anything. I mean, they're not working the machines and stuff. So if I make a sound, the whole gym hears me. Now, this is where I got to give it up to the Hollywood, the Gold's Gym. I went in there, and I knew immediately. I said, "This is a place that." And I even told the guy that showed me around the place. I said, "This," and I wasn't scared to say this. I said, "Boy, in this place, if I make a fart, no one's gonna hear it." Okay, and it's true, because in Crunch, I'll tell you, it's so like do that again. It's not low. It's not a hardcore facility. Now, I'm not saying that the Hollywood Golds was a hardcore facility, but they have a lot of equipment and people using this stuff. I hear like the machines going and the tone, the music. It was like the whole thing. It wasn't at an ambient level. It wasn't really loud, but it was. I felt like, okay, people they're using this shit here. These machines, things are going here. So if I make a fart, the whole gym's not going to hear me. Or if I make a sound, like one more, like if I said no one's going to fucking hear it, no one's going to care, because it's a more of, they know, like Gold's Gym. Like there is a rep with that. It's not the Mecca, it's not Venice, but still. I did get that feeling when I was in there, like, okay, this is a place where you can push yourself and it's not a big deal. You're not going to stand out. I don't need the attention. You know, people go to the gym for all sorts of reasons. I have another friend that's straight. He goes to the gym because he's got nothing else to do. He's nice to build a body, but that mentality ain't going to build you shit. He just has nothing to do, so we'll go to the gym. And then there's like, I could just tell these gay guys, they go there, they're looking to hook up or something. I don't care. That's irrelevant to me. I don't care. What I care about is me being able to like get everything I can out of that place for me. And I got to admit too, look, I see women sometimes in my gym. I will look for a second, I will glance, but I almost never say anything because it's not a place. It's not a place to hook up. Now, if it is for some good, but for me, like I am real serious because I know how hard it is to make progress. It's like I have to push myself, every time I go in there and then some on top of it. It's that hard to get some. It's so hard to get something off your body to change. It's really, really hard. Especially when you've been in it for a while. Your body's adapting to it. And that's what I know. Okay. Now I listened to this thing yesterday with Jay Cutler talking. It was this kind of flamboyant guy, not Jay Cutler, but the guy that was he's got a website, Greg Doucette, whatever. He's an IFBB pro, he's for real. He's got like this Greg Doucette guy. He's got like a flamboyant kind of like demeanor. And I, I'm not judging these people, whatever. But but I listen. Now the only reason I never became an IFBB pro or a professional bodybuilder is because of the chemicals, the steroids and all that stuff. It really is, and I was really, I knew this. I knew how much I don't care really how much of stuff he's taking. Ironically, Jay Cutler and I were born about 2 days apart, same year. We're same age. We're 48, and I mean, he said even the first cycle he gained like 50 pounds. Okay. I have thousands upon thousands of gym hours of serious bodybuilding. Thousands upon thousands, okay? Logged, written down. I could tell you the morning of 9/11 where I was. Guess where I was? I was doing lying V's in the gym. And if you don't know what those are, look it up. It's an old school term for working the hams. That morning, I was working out. That morning, when the planes hit. And I go back to the early 90s with the Universal machines, okay? I know there's people go way long before me. I know that. Michael Hearn, I know all this stuff. Doesn't matter, though. It's not about them. This is about me. This is about me talking about what I know that most people don't. Now, one of the reasons I never became a name is because I never became a pro and because I never used. That's the price. That's the price, It's like I got all this knowledge about things that I'll see. I watch guys, I could name any exercise, name anything, and I can I watch people all the time, not watch, but I can see they're amateur, they're stuff they don't know what I know. Basic stuff, rope pull downs, or rope over the head, it doesn't matter. And the second the guy's done with the last thing, he jerks his body around, and then the weight slammed down really hard. So let me ask you something. Are you controlling the weights or are the weights controlling you? Most people, the weights are controlling them. All right? Now, it's not my job to teach these people. I could spend from morning, the second the gym opens till the second the gym closes. I could just walk around telling people how to correct form. I could spend hours upon hours trying to help people. But it doesn't pay, okay? Personal training, glorified cheerleading, That's what I call it. Okay, good bedside manner, as my friend Chris calls it. Call it whatever the fuck you want. It's just first off, it's like I already made the analogy about when you got a good doctor that knows what he's talking about. It's like priceless, right? But meanwhile, when someone knows all this shit about fitness and health, it's not that big of a deal. So you know what? If it's not that big of a deal, then fuck it. I don't care. I'm not gonna like go around. I have business cards that say, I have a Master of Science degree in phys ed. It doesn't matter. Giving a card that people. It's something that people will not really pay to learn. And I am not one to like beg people, please let me teach you how to work out. That's what a personal trainer is. It's nonsense. It's a glorified cheerleading instead of showing people the seriousness of it. I can overhear. Every time in my gym, they're talking about where they're going on vacation. These people, they're not there. They're not there. I wouldn't have any of it. If you're working with me, the second we're working on stuff, I don't want to hear about any of that stuff. I want to show you exactly how to do this. And you have to be focused because it's serious. You could hurt yourself if you don't know what you're doing. That's why I've never had a bodybuilding injury, thank God, in my 30 years of doing this. Now, I've had some shit, like worn out, just I didn't realize that, like doing too many leg lunges, it'll worn out my meniscus. My knees are fine now, but, I learned from the school of hard knocks, man. Now, again, I'm not really that strong. I'm not strong. But that doesn't mean you can't build a fucking body. Like, you don't have to be. They show you these giant guys, the magazines or the videos pushing a tremendous amount of weight. Some of that's just for video, just for show. Now, these guys, some of them are exceptionally strong, but, guys like Frank Zane, whatever, or Dexter Jackson talks about this, they're looking for shape. That's all that matters. I don't care if you bench 500 pounds. If you get on a stage, they want to see what you look like. That's the most important thing. And I know the analogy, well, big muscles are strong muscles. Yeah, that's true. But bodybuilding is not powerlifting. There's a big difference. I have a friend, he looks okay. But, I guarantee you, he kind of just does the same thing all the time. And if you're not continually learning, then you're gonna level off, and you're not gonna build really anything really that impressive. Now, again, the reason that I'm like 185 is that I've been making gains over the past since I got back into it in late August, but it's because I know what I'm doing and I don't fuck around. There's just a lot of intricacies. There's things that, let me give you another example. So I went into Hollywood Gold, and I was in the lobby, and there's this guy, he's sitting there, he's doing like this, there's a seated bice, I just call buys, but you have to elaborate for most people that don't understand what we're talking about. It's like a bicep curl machine or whatever like that. He was doing alternating with one arm or something. And I'm there, and the guy's like looking at me as he's doing the exercise. And I'm saying to myself, why are you looking at me while you're working out? Your focus should be looking at your arms, thinking about, all right, man, how many reps can I get out of this? How much can you get off this? How much can you get out of this? Instead of looking at me. Because, he's gay. He's looking, that's what his mind is there for. And that's a problem, because if your mind is not really working, if you're not focused, and look, let me tell you how deep the focus goes. Even if that guy was looking like this, Arnold said this, I don't care if a bomb goes off behind me. If I'm in the middle of my exercise, I'm doing my exercise. That's the mentality I have. 99.9% of people don't have that Arnold type mentality. That's why they don't look like nothing. And that's why you go into my gym, or you go into Hollywood Gold's gym, and there's nobody in there that looks like anything. Respectfully, I'm sorry. I went in there. I even asked the guy, I said, Man, I was expecting to see some dudes that are fucking jacked, you know. They goes, oh, maybe during the week, yeah, during the week, or go down. And I says, but I'm not. You guys misconstrued my thing. I said, but I'm not here to see them though. I was expecting to see that. And you know how many gyms I stopped into Easton Gym. I stopped into these private little gyms, and nobody in there looks like anything. And the reason why is because they don't know what they're doing. Again, I'm not saying I know everything of everything, but I'm just telling you, like from my on and off 30 years of doing this, the reason that nobody looks like anything is because they don't know what they're doing. Period. Your body is a result of your mind. Period. And if you don't know, if you're not educated and you don't know what you're doing, it just shows. Even if you're natural, there's guys natural. You can build one hell of a fucking body naturally. I guarantee you, because I remember, you know, I showed you pictures of me and Chris Jericho, way bigger than him, way better built than him. At 178 pounds, I showed it. Go back, look at my earlier things. I show, okay. It's like, it's just so, it really bothers me because, like, you would think there'll be tons of women working out, tons. And I go in there on a Sunday, you know, and it was like, I'm not exaggerating. There was one woman behind the counter. There was one or two women in the entire gym that I saw. I couldn't believe, I didn't want to say to the guy, I go, you know, but I did tell him, I said, I don't care, gay, straight, whatever. I told that guy, I didn't care. And what he told me early on was like, it's not busy here right now. Now, I was walking around there. It was crowded enough for me. No, I went in there one time when it was packed. Packed with people that don't know what they're doing. I don't care. It's not my job to educate them. It's not my job. I was impressed. They did have 135-pound iron grip dumbbells. The guy working there didn't even know. I pointed him out. He didn't even know. I said, how heavy the dumbbells go? And he goes, 120. And I looked, I saw 130s there. Then I saw 135s. You know, he didn't even know. And he's walking me around the gym talking to me. I go, listen, don't take me the wrong way, but I have to see everything here. If I'm talking to you, my focus, and you know, he was kind of like, you know, I said, yeah, I've been around this a long, long time. The key is for me to look at everything. I need to be able to see that this is going to be a place for me. Now, I have an electric bike. I mean, it's possible it needs to be fixed, but you know, I could do the commute. You know, it's a couple miles from me, but the question is it worth it? You know? And I mean, I started thinking about it, and I'm like, you know what? No place is ever going to be perfect. If that's what you're looking for, a perfect place, it probably doesn't exist. A friend of mine told me, "We'll go to Powerhouse Gym in Torrance." Torrance. God, he's funny. So what else do I know that most people don't? Again, the focus. A lot of people are trying to get eye contact off me when I'm doing exercises or getting ready to. So what I do is I pick a point before I start. Something that's like a logo or something, not on a person, but on another machine or something. And that's what I'll stare at while I'm doing if I have to. I don't look at anybody, period, while I'm exercising, ever. I'll close my eyes on the hack squat machine. And there's this thing that I do. I take a dumbbell, throw it over my shoulder, go up and down. And there's this guy, he positions himself right in front of me. Well, before I was, while I was taking a break from the start. Now that exercise, squats will take. Jay Cutler talked about this, like when he worked out back east. I think he was talking about in Pennsylvania. the gyms in these small, like they're serious hardcore places. Like he's from School of Hard Knocks. I mean, I'm talking about these guys squat till they're bleeding. I mean, that's some ridiculous. I mean, that you know, but the mirror, that they have to wipe it down because the spit or the sweat and stuff. Dorian Yates talked about that, spitting on the. You got to understand the mentality that these guys have. Again, I know it's a lot of the gear and stuff like that, but forget about that. These guys are real iron warriors, and I have that kind of mentality too. I want to work hard, and working hard is not pretty. It's not fucking pretty. And if somebody's working out, like they're standing right in front of me, maybe 6 feet away, and I'm doing these heavy fucking squats with that bar in my thing, I'm gonna be blowing out air. You're gonna feel it. The guy's gonna. That's the thing. He doesn't realize that, but I did. So I had to wait till he moved. He didn't understand. How can he understand? He's not a hardcore person, and it's not my job to explain that to him. If you're in a soft core environment, with a hardcore mentality, it's very, very difficult. But I don't have to yell in there. That would be beautiful. Like if I could spit, I mean, but the problem is, it's just, I mean, watch like the Jordan Yates Blood and Guts, where the trainer's like yelling, and it's like loud. Like they're serious. They're fucking really there to push as hard as they fucking can to make the muscle grow, to get that hypertrophy, whatever. That it takes so much to get so little, and that's why most people don't look like anything. Because what they're doing is like these little kind of, like I see with the cable thing, real nice and neat. They're not fucking there. They don't understand what it takes to really make gains, or they don't have a warrior hardcore mentality. Now, again, they're so far away from that. They don't even have a mentality. You don't understand. To even get to that level, you got to be here first. They're not even here. They're below. I can't even, because they're there. They don't understand. They don't understand focus. Don't understand how to, and that's just a vague term. Focus can be many things. I've had people try to fuck with me in the middle of my exercises. I mean, you're talking about, I've seen it all. I've seen it, just about all of it. I've seen the dumbest things you can possibly imagine. I'm talking. You want to hear retarded? Here, let's go. There used to be this guy, the trainer, one time, one of the trainers at my gym. They have like this strip where you can use. It's like it was a black AstroTurf thing, but thin, right? So now I've got a bar on my back, 50 pounds or something. It might have been more. I don't remember. And I'm doing lunges. You know what lunges are? One leg at a time, stepping forward, but stepping progressively forward, walking. As I approached the end, I still wasn't there yet. The trainer's guy asked me, "Hey, are you still using this?" I mean, it took everything in my mind just to say, dude, are you a fucking clown or something? I'm working my ass off here, and you want me to answer your question in the middle of my exercise, Some people are just fucking retarded, okay? But I didn't engage him like that because it wouldn't have helped. But he should know better, like that. I've never done that ever, 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 ever. I've always waited till somebody was done to ask a question. How many more sets you got left? And I always say, take your time. That's called gym etiquette. That's something they don't teach you. And everybody should learn gym etiquette. All of it, everything, before they join a gym. They should learn how to use the machines. They should know how to give people space. They should know how to not stand in front of somebody if they're in the middle of an exercise. They should know how to ask them politely. How many more sets you got on this one? This thing, the dipping bar, like for, dips, whatever like that. I see this clown, this guy, he's on there, and I ask him, how many more sets? He goes, oh, 2 more. And he's on his phone. Like he can't move his fucking body over just 10 feet, so I can get on this thing. He keeps his towel on there though, like it's a machine or something. You never heard of sharing? They didn't teach you this when you were a fucking kid? Now, some people do let me go, yeah, go ahead, jump on, and I do the same thing. here's another one for you. Want to hear gym etiquette? I can go on all fucking day. I won't, but here's another one for you. Do you know what a power cage is? Most people don't even know what it is. In my gym, there's one power cage. Many people use it. They don't even know the correct term for it. But this is what makes people retarded in my gym. It's not that they don't know the term. It's that they squat outside of the power cage. Okay? They set up the bar. There's like the thing that, holds the bar, you can adjust it, whatever like that. There's two pillars and the thing adjusts on it. And these guys, what they do is they put the thing in and they put the bar on the outside of the power cage. And they squat. You're supposed to squat inside of the power cage. Now, in my gym, there's not much room. There's like this there's enough room for people to walk around, but the point is, the power cage, if the guy's squatting outside of the power cage, there's not that much room for people to walk by. Nobody ever, and you know what? And you could just look at the person and you can just tell they don't know what they're doing. If they don't know how to squat inside of a power cage and they're squatting outside of it, they don't know what they're doing, period. End of story. Gym etiquette. I can go on and on and on and on. I'm not going to talk about re-racking weights. I'm not going to talk about wiping down machines. That's just common sense. But there's just so much stuff that, that goes along with gym etiquette. Patience. In my gym, the benches are anchored down and they're not far from the weight rack, racks where they rack the weights. And it's very difficult because people walking around, trying to put their weights back, trying to get weights out, and people on the bench trying to do their work, trying to look in the mirror. Now, I'll do one-arm dumbbell rows. I always say this: a master doesn't have to stare in the fucking mirror when he know exactly what he's doing. So what I'll do is I'll turn my body around, so my ass is facing the mirror, I'm facing the other side, and then I will keep my head up and I will row. I will one-arm row. And the thing, so these people, they're all staring in the mirror when they're exercising, most of them. And I'm saying to myself, don't they know the exercise by now? If you're doing the arm curl, why do you got to stare in the fucking mirror for? But it's not that they're staring in the mirror that bothers me. It just shows, number one, they don't know what they're doing. Number two, they're taking up valuable space usually. I always try to move out of the way. I don't want to be in anybody's way when they're in high traffic areas. I want to be in a place where I can do my exercise and not have anybody around, walking right by me or something. It comes with knowledge. You've got to know what you're doing, and you've got to maintain your focus. And it's not watching television. It's not talking to people too much. Even a little, it gets me out of my zone of hard work. What I'm there to do is, Jordan Yates said, gut grinding. It's not pretty. And I think these people, they're scared to work hard because they're scared to make a face. They're scared about all these things. They're scared of everything. I'm not. I'm not there to look good. I'm not there to be pretty. I'm there to work hard and to get the fuck out. If you're working hard, you shouldn't be able to go. It's hard. And it just makes, the problem is when you're in a soft core environment, then it just makes it that much. I know I already repeated that, but it just makes it that much more. And most of these places are. They just are. They're not for like serious people, and I wonder why. Like, why would you even go to a gym if you're really not there to work hard? Like, why? Because people go for all sorts of reasons. Like my friend, I know I answer my own question, but it just seems like then you're wasting your time. You're really wasting your time. You might as well just go for a hike or something. If you just want to stage it, at least you're outside. But you're taking up space like in a gym where people would be really using. I'm there to use the equipment. How many times I go in there, I need to get on. I don't know how many sets of people. They're on the phone, and believe me, they're not. They're taking much more time on the phone between sets than they would be if without. 100%. 100%. I guarantee you, because I know, because I sit there and I watch and I wait. I don't have a choice. You know, I'm waiting for the equipment, and these guys are sitting there on the phone. You know, I told this to one guy. I said, I'm a no frills guy living in a frills area. You know, the guys that take these really hardcore anabolics that don't know how to lift, I see right through them. I really do. They can fool most people, but they can't fool me. And I already talked about this. You know, the guys that don't know how to lift. And what I mean by don't know how to lift, it's like, again, you don't have to be. You know, I could look at form. I could look at exactly, like, I could tell somebody that really knows what I don't. You know, yeah. Look, sometimes I look at the weights, how much you're lifting, but that's not really. You know, that's not really what's important. I could tell when somebody really knows what's up. You know, like they're squatting, their form, or how hard they're working. That just comes from advanced knowledge. You know, advanced time. You know, I've seen people that work out every day, but they don't know what they're doing. So, essentially, they're wasting their time and their energy. Boy, that's even worse. Time and at least, the worst thing is doing things that are toxic for you. I guess going to the gym, even if you don't know what you're doing, Ultimate Warrior said just move the weights around. If you don't know how to lift or anything, move the weights around. You know, the 45, pick up the 45-pound plate, put it on the, like, just move the fucking weights around. It's a really good point. But guys that don't know what they're doing, I see right through them. I see right through them. And guys that don't take, that know what they're doing, I recognize it. I could tell, like I see, like, they're no joke, And guys that take, that know what they're doing, they're the ones on stage. They're the ones, for the most part, they're winning the Mr. Olympia or whatever. They're in those big bodybuilding, they're just, it's like marble, They do both, that's Michael Hearn, prime example, somebody that takes and knows what he's doing. You get that marble-ish, hard, blown up kind of look. It's the epitome. It's both. My problem is I'm half that. I'm, I'm like hard. I'm solid, but I don't have that blown up look because I don't take. I don't take those kind of stuff. And when I mean take, you know what I mean. I'm talking about, injectables, or any of the hardcore orals that, the real stuff you're not getting over the counter. There's no comparison between, Anadrol 50, whatever, Anavar, real shit and stuff you're getting over the counter, some SARMs or some, there's just nothing, Androstein or whatever. I tried that, over the counter stuff. You get a little bit of something, but that's it. You can't. There's no fucking way you're gonna look like anything compared to what these guys look like by taking a little of that stuff. The hardcore stuff. That's a different story, and I'm just not doing that, man. I'm too scared. I think, I'm almost 50 years old. I don't think my body could process that shit, and I could really fuck myself up. I don't want to. Not willing to do that. You could build what I consider a decent, good body naturally with the knowledge, with the right mentality, good supplementation, good food, and the right work ethic. You could build a. You're not going to be like Arnold. You're not going to be fucking 250 pounds like that. Anything beyond like that. Depending on your height, it just depends. My friend Alex, he's like a little shorter than me. He's like 175, and he's okay. He's all right. I don't think like he puts in the leg work, the real You know, because I have to be, first off, I have to assess somebody. I have to, you know, just watch somebody for it and see exactly what they do for a day. If I were to help somebody and then be able to, like, okay, at the very end say, okay, this is what I saw. This is good, this is good, this is good, this is bad. This you should be doing. That's not going to work. I don't know why you're doing this, because you get more by doing that. You know, why are you doing this many sets? Why are you lifting this? Why don't you try that? You know, there's so many things. Like you know, that it's not just one size fits all. It's not one size fits all. You know, some people, they're just not. You know, I know this guy, like, he can't even do push-ups. So why are you in a gym? You know, you can't even fucking do push-ups. You're basically just above, like, physical therapy is what you need. You know, and people, they don't want, you know, their egos are too big. They don't want to hear that physical therapy. That's for sick people. Well, dude, I got news for you. If you can't even do push-ups, then you basically are. And the problem is, nobody wants to hurt anybody's ego. I've seen personal trainers grabbing weights, bringing them to the clients. The client can't even go bring it, carry it himself. If you can't even carry your own fucking weight, you shouldn't be lifting it, okay? You know, there's a lot that I know, and you know, I don't think I couldn't train women because a woman's body is different. You know, like I don't know. Guys is different. Then I could work with, but women, you know, I wouldn't know, and that's just my honesty, being honest. You know. And I'm kind of insulted by how much they would pay me to train somebody. Like, I'd be insulted with what I know. I'd be insulted. That'd be like going to a doctor, you know, and saying, "Here, I'll give you like $50, you know, just tell me what's wrong with me," kind of thing. You know, see how ridiculous that sounds? If you went to like Cedar Sinai, it's like the best doctors in the world. You think it's just ridiculous, you know? Meanwhile, like, somebody that could really help you take care of your health, what's that worth to you? Apparently, it's not worth anything, because nobody ever comes up to me asking me, "Hey, man, you know, do you think," or they see me in the gym. Not one person's ever come up to me and said, "Hey, man, you know, like, I want to know, like, can you, I'll pay you, like, can you teach me this?" Or like, "I really need, I could be better than this." They don't. They don't. Whatever, their egos, or they don't have money. And you know what? I'm sorry. Like, you know, when you get older, if you're smart, you realize when you get older, you can't buy more time. Money comes and goes, but there's only so much time. I mean, I would pay if there's somebody like that could help advance me in whatever. I would gladly pay them a fair price for their time to pick their brain. Gladly, gladly. Because if you come away with something, you could spend years not knowing what you're doing. You're wasting your time. You're wasting your time. If you're not moving ahead, you know, you're actually going backwards, because nothing is static. You know, like, it's either you're going forward or you're actually going backwards. And like I said, there's really nobody. I've not seen anybody. I went to all these gyms. I'll name them all. I went, you know, Crunch on Sunset, Hollywood, you know, Hollywood Gold's Gym on Cole, that private gym that I saw in Santa Monica, Easton's on Beverly, this other new one that opened, the 24/7 small place, a Built RX. There's so many. Nobody. I've been to all these places. I haven't seen one person looks like anything. Not one. I saw one guy squatting 225 with some pretty decent form on my way out. This Asian guy, but he didn't look like nothing. And you know, I'm sorry, you know, like, I don't want to offend you, but you know, it's like, you don't look like nothing because you don't know what you don't know how to build a body. It's not just, you've got to have everything. It's a total everything. It's everything. And most people don't look like anything. Now, I'll go to this park, you know, this West Hollywood Park. They got, like, you know, some, various bars, rings and stuff like that. I'll take my shirt off, sometimes I'm doing exercise, and people are always looking at me. I'm getting these kind of looks like they know I'm not even that big. I'm very, very solid for my size. I'm not stage solid, but I'm damn solid for my size. Those guys on stage, you gotta understand. You have to understand something. When you look at this contest, I don't care NPC show or don't forget about the big ones, but like I'm talking about like a pretty serious show. I mean, these guys are cut up, dieted down in their peak, stridations, the work that it takes to get like that. And then they're comparing themselves. They're all in incredible shape. All those guys on stage, they show you. So it's like the only thing there's no real, but it stands out is a subjective opinion of the judges. So if I'm standing out there by myself, there's nobody else there to compare to. And I don't like it. The tan, like that little thing, you wear it. It's like a little thong thing. I don't like it. And I don't like being compared to all these other guys. Some of them are really, really, they're and they're really well put together. They're taking. I guarantee you, as far as gym knowledge goes, I'm at I'm like at the top level of knowledge of it. I have too much time. Like I've studied too much. I've well read. It's just I'm not saying I know everything, but I know a shitload of stuff that you can't find that's written down because it's based on real world experience. I mean, it's something that you just I could see things like from perspectives that people they will never figure out. They'll never figure it out. They'll be doing the same thing and they'll never be making any gains, and they're going to wonder why. And then it's like they give up, or they they're not going to make any progress, and or they they think they're going to figure it out on their own. Or again, they're just there for the wrong reasons. They're there to take up space, really. You know how many times I go to my gym and I see these guys, they're sitting there kind of like in a stretched position, and they're on the phone. I mean, they're there for the wrong reasons. I go in there and it's like, yeah, the only time that I'm static or trying not, it's like I'm catching my breath for a second or something. That's it. It's like that's why they call this channel Warrior Junior, because it's like I'm not there to fuck around. I'll learn on YouTube. I see some of these young guys trying some different exercises, or I learned something for traps. I've been doing trap shrugs for I was like, why am I not getting any fucking results? I'm doing these heavy things to the front. I'm doing to the back. I'm trying this. I'm trying that. Nothing. Then finally, I seen this guy, whatever. Not Michael Hearn. Well, Michael Hearn talked about this bench at a 60-degree angle. I tried that. And I was like, whoa, okay. With light dumbbells, I started doing that. And then there's this there's this apparatus they have in my gym. It's a I don't know how to describe it, but it's very heavy. You can put weights on it. It's like a 6-sided bar. 2, 4, 5. It might be 8-sided. I don't know. But anyway, you can load the weights on. Now the thing is, the positioning, your hands are forced to be out here. And when you come up, you really, really get an incredible trap. It's an incredible exercise for traps. The best trap exercise I've ever used. I've used it. I've tried everything, and that's the best thing I ever got results from. I've been starting those recently, and I've been noticing the separation between my neck. Actually got a little thicker from it because your traps, connected to your neck. So if your traps grow, your neck gets a little thicker. It's constantly looking to get better and evolve. So what I have is like the solid foundation that I built on gym etiquette, and concentration and focus, all these things. And then I have other things that, as far as like performing exercises, way to work your muscles, not your joints. Things that I'll see so many fucking people do that they're, I've seen this one guy. This one guy's pretty tall. Like, he puts on the Smith machine. He puts 315, 385, and he's squatting with it. He did, I don't know, maybe do 4 or 5 reps. He get close to parallel, but I said I have to see it. Somebody is putting that much on there, and because I want to see, like, he gets down like maybe 80% of the way. He's not parallel though, and I say to myself, the guy can do 385 on the 5. Why isn't he doing free bar, like with 3 wheels? Why can't he do just in the power cage? Why can't he do 315? And there's a reason why. He's scared, is what it is. Now, I don't want to tell him, I don't want to say nothing, but I was the same way. I never got up to 385 in the thing, but it's easier. And once I made the transition from the Smith machine to the regular bar, I noticed better results. I started doing more front squats too. Front squats. You don't see many people doing front squats with the Olympic bar and the weights on there. Why? Because they're hard as fuck. It's an advanced exercise. It's hard as fuck. Now, is hardest always the best? Not always, but in this case it is. And I will fucking do front squats set after set after set after set. I read this by Charles Poliquin, who passed away. German volume training, 10 sets of 10. What I would do, but I modify it, my own way. I would take the bar and I would do, regular squat, 10 reps, front squat, 10 reps. Rest a little in between. Squats take the most out of you. Just catch my breath. And then I would just put on 15 pounds on each side. Not that much weight. Squat 10 reps. Take 5 off each side, and then front squat 10 reps. Then I would call set 3. Then I would go up to quarters on each side. My max front squat, for 10 reps is like 145. That's it. But my form, I put on this pair of jeans. I can't even get into them anymore. My legs are so full. I can't close. It's waist, and I can't put my wallet in my pants because my legs are responding like that. That's how you get results. You find there's ways to. It took me. Do you know how many times I told you I wore out my meniscus from doing lunges? Exercise was not productive for me. I learned the hard way. The hard fucking way. And that's what most people, they'll never even get to that point of learning the hard way. Because you have to be advanced even to find out something doesn't work for you. That hack squat machine in my gym, almost nobody uses it. I use the fuck out of it. Because I know. People, it fucks up your knees. Yeah, because you're pointing your feet out. That's the reason why. If you're pointing your feet out and then you're coming down, what do you think happens? You're putting a lot of pressure on your knees. It's a complicated area. So instead, I think Tom Platz talked about pointing your feet out, and that's what I do. I never really had any knee problems from that. Now sometimes I'll go a little heavier on it. Most times I just go for reps. But the magic is when I reverse it. That's the magic. Now I've seen a couple people that know too. I fucked up when I said inverted. It's not inverted. It's reversed. Now, when you reverse the hack squat, you can keep your feet straight because of the angle. And you're putting your head in there. You can try to keep your face up, but the pads, they go on your shoulders, and weights on, and the handles come off. And I go all the way down, and then I hear I know how far that machine can go. I hear from you're at the bottom. I don't hit it every time, but I go as low as I can for most of the reps. And it's like, well, yeah, you're working your ass. It says, hey, you're a fool if you think it's isolated. Reverse hacks are just working your ass, because your ass is attached to your upper part of your legs. Big ass, big legs. That's why I got so much results. The weight's in the legs. That's why I went from 176 pounds at the beginning of the year to like right now almost 185, because I figured out how to work my legs properly and a lot. But I take my foot off the gas sometimes. I don't go in all the time seeing how much I can lift the most. I understand all the patterns. Sometimes you push a little harder. Sometimes you take your foot off the gas a little bit, let your muscles recover, but you can still work them. Lee Haney said, stimulate, don't annihilate. But there's ways to, like, he used a vague way of explaining it, but it's more complex than that. It's simple, but you need to understand all of this. And I understand all of it. That's why you can go to any gym. You can count on basically one hand how many dudes got really good wheels. I'm one of them. Absolutely. I'm not like, Barney Yates, huge leg, not like a monster like Tom Platz. But for my size, I'm pretty much, you're not going to beat me. If you're taking, yes. Oh, sure, you can out squat me, like, with overall power, like, the weights, like, or volume or reps. You're not going to outwork me, but there's plenty of people that can out squat me, but I've never seen anybody push for as long. Because I wore a shirt yesterday. I did like leg work, and it was soaked. There's nobody in there. There's nobody. I don't care what gym you go to. Maybe Gold's Venice or something. There's some serious people in there. But my mentality is like that. I'm very determined. And I'm not big. 185 is not a big guy. At 5'9", or mid-5, I think I'm 5. I thought I was 5'10", and now I think I'm 5'8". I don't know. I got to get myself measured, but my mentality is big. My work ethic is huge. And it doesn't, it's not going to really show, because you see if you're not on the anabolics, on the hard stuff, then it doesn't, you don't get that big blown up look. You just don't. And it kind of sucks in a way. What sucks about it is, like, it's like you would think, like, there would be many opportunities, people, like, whatever your knowledge, like, it would really be a big deal, but it's not. It's like the dancing thing. People come up to you sometimes, give you props and whatever, but, I haven't been on TV since I was 31. I tried getting an agent, I wrote a beautiful script for a dance movie. Nobody's, I tried to market myself. You can only try as hard as you can try, and then try more. But some things are just not practical. My friend Alex talked about it. He said this, look, people will pay to watch somebody dunk a basketball. That's a big deal. People will, go to an arena to watch a team, play or football, whatever. But they won't go see bodybuilding. They won't go see this. I watched the dumbest thing on YouTube, this Arnold at the Arnold Classic, the slapping, the two women slapping each other, and you got like a couple thousand people watching this at the Arnold Expo. And I just can't believe something like that's getting attention, and not like the dancing or something that, but I don't control society. I don't control. People like to, go look. When I was a baseball player, I can't go watch a baseball game. I can't sit in the seats. It's boring. I don't care. I wanted to play. And as far as bodybuilding goes, natural bodybuilding, no one gives a fuck about that. I saw this one guy, he has a nutrition store, not far from me. And he's been in all these contests. He has all these medals in his store. And I sized myself up next to him. I blew that guy away. I blew him away. And I'm sure, respect to him. He's about my age. He's about a year older than me. And it's in contest on stage. He comes out. He's pretty cut up and stuff, and he's kind of thick. Like I can tell you, he weighs more than me for sure. He looked like he was about 6'1", maybe 230. Like kind of barrel chested, like kind of thick waist kind of thing. Maybe a little lighter. I don't know. I have to ask him next time. But I came in there. I had a kind of better shirt than this. I sized myself up. Kind of, and I'm standing next to this guy. And I was standing, and it was like, dude, you're not even. You're no. Like my V taper when I come out, dude, you're not even. If I took my shirt off, you wouldn't hold your own against me. You would not hold your own. And this guy was in the Natural Olympia. I think he got second a couple of years back. He had a gladiator helmet too. And he didn't ask me one fucking time. He said, "Hey man, you thinking of competing, man?" Or something. He made sure and told me, like toward the end of the discussion, yeah, like I'm a professional, he goes. And I said, dude, but I'll blow you away. Like you're not even, I can hold my own with any of you guys. I'm sorry. Like don't, who do you think you're talking to here? I mean, I didn't say that. I didn't want to, I didn't want to create because then it gets verbally hostile, But again, I already talked about this. I can pretty much assess you, what you're taking. Like if you're that dude is not a hardcore guy. No. These guys that are on stage, they know most of them, they know how to take. They don't know how to, now a lot of people, they do know how to lift. But I'm talking about the guys this guy that I'm talking about, that's natural. He's in a store all day working. He knows how to take. For a contest, he don't know how to fucking. No, he's not a warrior. He's not a fucking. No. And what pisses me off more is like, they look at you like a threat. He never gave that off because he's trying to sell me something. But I could get that vibe. I know. Say, dude, wow. Like I remember one guy that worked at the store before him. He was working in the front. He said, let me see what you got under there. I took off my shirt. He goes, whoa, your lats. Wow. Guy gave me props. Now, this guy was pretty well built, too. Coming from somebody like that, this respect. That's respect. Not some average person that doesn't work out, that's like the voyeuristic onlooker. I'm talking about like somebody that really, is a bodybuilder, too. That, that's different. I will give respect, too. It's not, not everybody competition like, the dog eat dog kind of thing. I know, nobody wants to look small compared to somebody else. Nobody, I know. But a lot of that's ego. Most people have fragile egos. They can't handle like, somebody. And look, and it's hard sometimes too. Like I don't like being shown up in my gym. That guy that was doing the 385, there's the reverse. I was doing the reverse leg things, and I fucking said to myself, you think you're gonna show me something? I'm gonna show it. And I said, I didn't say I'm gonna show you, but I said I'm gonna show myself. I can hold myself with this fucking guys. I had like I put on an extra 45 plate on there. I had like all these little weights, quarters and 35s. I said I'm gonna fucking show. And I put like extra 90 pounds, and people were looking. I know it too. I wasn't doing it for them to look, but I don't like. Somebody trying to, show me like I'm nothing, like in that. Can you imagine somebody, working out for 30 years? And I don't like, trying to be one up like that. It's just something about that, like, I'm sorry, but like, I'm a very competitive person. And plus, it actually good for me because I like bringing out the best in me. I like that hardcore environment. Like I'm not like a pansy, and that's the problem is like most of these places and most of these people, they're pansies, and it just bothers me. Like I try not to, You know, they say water seeks its own level, and I don't want to be at that level. You know, Arnold. I'll sum it up with what Arnold said. I'd rather be dead than ordinary, than average. That's what Arnold said. My friend Chris, he doesn't get that. He goes, well, that doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to you because you don't know how to think big like that. You know, Arnold knows how to think big. He want to be not just in bodybuilding, but he knew it in real estate too. He never really talks about it, but that was the real catalyst. The real catalyst is what you don't see. Everybody knows in acting, you know, in bodybuilding, but you don't know that Joe Weider, like he pleaded with Joe Weider, gave him a small loan so he could get that duplex, so he could become an apartment manager. Then he upped it to a fourplex, an eightplex. He lived in there. He was already a real estate millionaire as his career was taking off. He would have been it anyway. He would have made it anyway. If he didn't make it in acting, he would have owned buildings. And that's what you don't see. That's what you don't see. You only see what you see, like what they show you. Most people. The people that really dig in the research, those are the fucking smart ones. Those are people that know what's up. You know? Got to be continued. Look at Warren Buffett, like reads like 8 hours a day or whatever, you know? Does he have to? No. Has to be well read. My problem is that I chose things that I enjoyed to do that were not going to lead anywhere. That's my problem, you know. But I realized it, you know, and I realized it a little too late. They say it's never too late. You know, I can concur with that, but you could spend a lot of time doing shit that's not going to go anywhere. You know, if you're somebody that wants to make money and you're doing all these things that won't make you any money, then you're just wasting time. You know, this one street dancer guy, this flat top guy that's been doing this shit for like 30, 40 years, and I don't know what he hopes to make, you know, why he's, but he never made any money doing that. I guess he never figured it out, you know. Told him, like, if he had like DVDs, he signed it for people, like sold, he makes some money, but he just doesn't, it doesn't equate in his mind, you know, to do it, you know. He just likes to perform for people, but you know, you get older, you can't do that shit anymore. You know, it's just, that's the way it works. You can't do shit forever. You know, it won't. You know, you kind of have to transcend and try to figure out a way. You could stay involved with anything, but you know, anyway, I know I'm getting on. Anyway, but I'm getting off topic. But anyway, that's pretty much for now with the bodybuilding. That's all I wanted to say. But I do really, really appreciate what Jay Cutler said. I really appreciate that. Boy, you know, I mean, it's like it's a catch-22. All the stuff that these guys take, it allows them, you know, to push more weight, to eat more, to get bigger. I get it. I get it. But you know what? Even without that, I'm telling you, you could build just with the good food, good supplementation, and a good mentality. You could build one hell of a body, even without this shit. I guarantee you. I know it. I know it. You never be like a monster, like no way. But you could look like you could really. I mean, before my kidney stone surgery, I was pretty badass. I was pretty. People were thinking. I mean, I was like pretty fucking badass. I just didn't understand, you know, all the calcium from the kidney stones. I mean, that fucked me up. But you know, I saw what's possible because I never took any of that shit. We're going to talk more. I'm going to do more episodes and get in depth, you know, with things, different type of aspects about working out that most people don't cover. You know, I'm gonna talk about more about etiquette, more about how to work out, more about how long to work out, exercises that most people don't, like what works what, how often to work out, how to work out, what to do, what not to do. What are you trying to get, like, and how to get there. Results, results. That's what I'm going to talk about next episode. Anyway, I hope you enjoy this. Warrior Jr. signing off. You have to have the mentality of a warrior, or else you're going nowhere.